Welcome to Akhand Vidyashram, the first institute of impeccable wisdom. Let's discuss what Anant, Ankur, Ankita, the omniscient mathematics from beginning to infinity. My review of literature, the impeccable wisdom of divine nature. Who discovered the beginning dot or zero? Let me share my experiences and convictions. The impeccable wisdom, the most important discovery in the world is zero. Who discovered the foundation of zero? First, let's discuss about it. I do believe the mathematicians who invented zero? No. Did Aryabhatta invent zero? No. Did Vedic message? No. No one can invent zero. Zero is the divine soul. Maharishi Yajnavalkya discovered zero long back. This is Maharishi Yajnavalkya. How did he discover and reveal zero? He discovered his inner soul as Shunya and Zero. I think that's the beginning point of Anahata Chakra, our heart. That soul is within the heart, and this is what Upanishads talk about it. As Angutha, the thumb impression in the heart, size everything in that direction. Now, the statement which Maharishi Yajnavalkya made, Purnam Adha, Purnam Idham, Purnam Purnam Udhishte, Purnasya Purnam Adhe, Purnam Iva Vishishte. These particular four lines mean this is full, that is full, from fullness emerges fullness. Take fullness from fullness, fullness will remain. The entire zero is stored in this. And let me give you another example of the same thing for another illustration. And that is Isha Upanishads, written by him. And now I am going to explain the same concept in my language. 0 minus 0 is equivalent to 0. 0 divided by 0 is equivalent to 0. That is the concept. No other number has that particular concept. Divide any number by that number is this. This is the unique nature of Shunya, and this is what I have found in the universal consciousness. Now, the divine mathematics, the general knowledge that's discovered. Every number divided by the same number is equal to 1 only. Like 100 divided by 100 is 1, or any number by same number is 1 only. But impeccable wisdom is different. 0 divided by 0 is 0, not 1. That is something which is revealed in that particular thing. That is unique quality of 0, because everything starts from there, is sustained by this, it comes back to this. Everything is a manifestation from 0 only. That's a point when I say Anant is the beginning, never ending, infinite. When say Ankur is the first sprout from 0, other numbers come from that. And Ankita means the designer of the numbers. So now you understand. Infinity, 0, Shunya, and other number. But now in the process, we are going to see what is infinite number as we move on. Now you can understand that result number is 1. 0 before any number has no additional value. 0 added after the number is multiplied by 10. That is again divine mathematics. Now come to the question. Man-made mathematics is different from divine mathematics. I am convinced beyond doubt the Brahmins of Akhand Bharat conceived divine mathematics and experienced that and explained that in Vedas and Upanishads. Let it be very clear. And when they learned that and explained to the people, the Zoroastrian learned mathematics from Brahmins. Zoroastrian taught Indian mathematics to Arabs. Arabs modified the concept into algorithms. Arabs taught modified mathematics to the West. West gave it a new man-made format and patented it. West taught man-made mathematics to the world, and they are confusing the whole world now. The time has come back to divine mathematics of Akhand Bharat once again. Now, new era of divine math. Let's understand that. I do know I have gone through this process myself, and this is a process after thousands and thousands of years later. My experience science of yoga has been I went through a preliminary theory and practice of 4 months, basic yoga asana, September 1992 to December 1992, 4 months. Yoga teacher was Shri Mahesh. and the center was Chen. That was my first experience of spiritual inner and outer aura within me. The Shunya in the heart, and Shunya in this, all the centers, and Shunya around my body. That is where I realize everything starts from Shunya, is maintained by Shunya, it dissolves in Shunya, and once you realize, then only you will understand the divine mathematics. Now I'm going to share my experience of 1992. Went for the shoes. First step was I was asked to imagine a ball of white light in the pelvic region of the Muladhara chakra, as you can see in this picture very clearly. Then I was asked to concentrate in Swadhisthana, which is second thing in the sacrum part, over Muladhara chakra. Then third step was imagine a ball of light in the navel or Navi chakra, as you can see in the picture very clearly. Then he said, okay, to the heart, the center of the heart, and that particular center, when you have this Shunya inside. But I had no experience whatsoever. Now, fifth step was imagine a ball of light in the throat, Vishuddhi chakra. And I came to that particular visualization in the throat, I got a jerk. Then I suddenly found myself surrounded by white light. I had experienced the Shunya inside other 4 and 5 places. When came to this stage, Shunya became one. Now is a concept. Muladhara is a solid element. Swadhisthana is water element. Navi is Agni element. Anhata is a Vayu element. And Vishuddhi is what you say is universal consciousness or the energy expanding it to Akash Bhuta. Now you can understand this is where it had to be experienced from inside to outside completely. And this is the picture which you can see how I've come from it. And that is what Shunya is, that is what Ara is, that is what zero inside. It has got a circle, it has got sphere, everything experienced. Now, the having experienced that, it was a wonderful thing to start a spiritual science, universal consciousness with Akhand Yog thereafter. Now I'm sharing something which was unexpected advice. I shared my experience of the same consciousness with my yoga teacher Mahesh. He asked me not to tell anyone about it. I asked why. They will think that you have gone mad, insane, and this is something which is unexpected, does not happen. And I'm surprised yoga teachers who are teaching yogasana, pranayam, meditation, tratkam, everything, Patanjali to other things, think this kind of experience is madness. That's the worst thing which has ever happened in the history of medical sciences, psychological sciences, yoga sciences, or all the spiritual thing in the whole world. And I couldn't believe my ears. This is my experience, and these people are saying it is madness. Anyway, being a medical doctor, I did not take it seriously. I thought the whole world is like that. Now I'm trying to explain it's a genuine experience, it's not a madness. Skin, eyes, and nervous system are developed from ectoderm layer of the 3 layers, and whole system like a nervous system, eyes, skin can see, and I can see, and that's it. And if you can't see it, that means you have not really realized the importance of the human body, mind, consciousness as such. Then I can't say anything more than that. Then come to the question of 1993. We went through the 4 days program under Swamiji Nanda in Bangalore, and it was so intense that in the picture of mine taken in Canon AE1, you can see the aura around my body and also on top of the head. It's very clear picture which is not seen in anybody else. And I thought, let me show, even cameras can take this kind of aura which is inside and outside. It's a phenomenal. Now come to the question of making an opening statement. Whenever I'm in doubt about anything in the consciousness, and mathematics, physics, chemistry, biology, and medical sciences, or anything for that matter, I look up to the cosmos, the universe. Why do I dig? I see an omnipotent, omniscient, omnipresent, perfect divine design of nature only in the universe. It is not seen in anything which I can see down. So I have learnt everything from the universe, and that's it. And in this particular picture I've shown, which I've shown in my picture beginning also, amazing 10 suns of the spiral galaxy, and this is what was talked about as Aham Brahmasi. Every human being is a reflection of spiral galaxy. In bottom, I have written Tattvamasi, and I'm very sorry to say Tattvamasi not been understood, but I'm going to show you later as what it means. Now come to the question. Its Indian statement is Pindandam Brahmandam Ek. Human being and universe are identical. Man is a microcosmic representation of macrocosmic universe. That's it. Now I have seen my picture which I have drawn with the 10 chakras, not 7 chakras. Everybody talks about it. Say in solar system, the 10 heavenly bodies, and that's it. Similarly, in spiral glasses, there are 10 suns. And when this 10-10 shows that there are 10 stages of development everywhere. Like I would say, Brahma is equal to 22 by 21, and Vishnu is equal to 10 stages of development, and Shiva is 0.3441, and we are going to see as we move on. In this particular thing, you are seeing Vishnu's 10 stages as such. And I think that was the most important part for me to realize. There are 10 stages of development, and it is consistent. And I have shown over and over that only 10, 10, 10, nothing less, nothing little more, but not 11. Now, coming to the Tattvamasi, the greatest occult mantra I know is Tattvamasi, and it is from Chandogya Upanishads. And most of the people think I am like God. Does it make sense? Do you see the meaning in Tattvamasi that I am like God? Aham Brahmasmi, I can understand. Tattvamasi, I don't understand. My experience concepts are very different. For me, Tat means divine nature. Tvam means everything. And Asi mean identical. The divine nature is Tat and everything is Tvam are identical. And I think that has made me understand everything in the universe must be made perfectly with one mathematical design only. And this was the concept I understood from this. This means everything is perfect, though there should be divine mathematics with which the perfection can come. And that is the result which led to Divyang as such slowly over a period. Then comes to the review of literature. Now let's understand how the mathematicians, artists of the world understand literature of designing itself. An exploration of the known wisdom, let me share. Something which is very, very important is the Fibonacci sequence numbers. It starts from 0. That is Shunya, that is Anant, that is from there Ankur comes. From 0 is the seed from which the first sprout, Ankur, is 1. And I think that Anant is in infinite number. We'll talk about it later. But Shunya is the first part. From first Ankur is 1. And then another 1, 2, 3, 5, 8, 13, 21, 34, 55, 89, 140. It goes on. This sequence continues. It starts from 0 and then so 0 is the seed, is the soul, and that is what everything has come up for. Now we are going to see this particular picture, the same number, same picture which I have used, and it's called Mishran, the mixed Fibonacci sequence. Now comes the question. This is number of zeros 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. The third number is the sum of the preceding two numbers. That is most beautiful part in Fibonacci sequence. First concept was conceived by Pingala of Bharat in 450 BC, almost 2500 years ago. He called it Misrao Ch. Two numbers are mixed. Then Veeravanka 700 AD called it variations of two earlier numbers. Same concept. Incidentally, Leonardo of Pisa, which was called Fibonacci family, explained it 1202 AD. And it is known by that name because he is the one who brought it to the West. It's very unfortunate. The Indian concept, nobody talks about it. Only when West says it, you give it a name. The real beauty of the hidden golden ratio is 1.618 in this particular concept. I'm going to show you that next. Now, but I'm glad the Fibonacci sequence said that this is not his discovery. It got it from Indian series only. That way, he is responsible enough to say that he got this number from India. Now, one of the best examples of this is branches of tree which people have used. 1, 2, 3, 5, 8, 13, and 21 is internationally known. And these are the seven stages which I am talking about. I think that's good enough. Now, this is the number which is given, but in this particular thing, I've shown 89 divided by 55 is equivalent to 1.618181818. And as a result of this, they say the best number, which is called golden ratio, is 1.618 only. So Fibonacci is given a divine mathematics that is equal to 1.618. Multiple length is 1, the width could be 1.6, whichever it is. The two things. If up is 1, other could be 1.618. I think that let's leave it at that. Then second universal consciousness came in the form of 5 or golden ratio. This is a picture which also is a representation of spiral galaxy. Now, golden ratio is one standard description. When a line is divided by two parts, the longer part is divided by the shorter part, equivalent to the full length divided by the longer part. Once you understand this particular concept, is graphically presented down, length and breadth, A and B and other thing, is it. That is the golden ratio. In this thing, everybody talks the value as 1.618. This is what from Fibonacci sequence everybody in the world has come to realize. But when go to the next stage, the mathematicians of the West, they had their own way. But anyway, this is another description of that given by the artist. Two quantities in the golden ratio if their ratio is the same as the ratio of the sum of the larger to the two quantities. Now you can see A plus B divided by A equivalent to A by B equal to 5, 6, 1, 8. Graphic presentation 5. Long side divided by short side equivalent to both side divided by the long side is that. I think I completely agree this is. But this number of 1.61 is very gross as such. Then come to the question, another man-made mathematician came. They want to show that we are much better. They used a formula 1 plus square root of 5 divided by 2 is one mathematical formula which gives a value of 1.618033988749895. It goes on. The gross deficiency is a misconception. This never ending infinite number of decimal is definitely not required. 1.618 is too simple and this is too complicated. Both are not practical. Can so many never be applied in life? Never ever possible. We must find the most appropriate decimal value of the golden ratio. What is that? I'm going to show you something which has never been done by anybody, which could have been done by everybody and everybody even earlier with a simple Indian arithmetic. Now, my conception of golden ratio Divyanka is 38.196 plus 6 is equivalent to this. This is the ratio this should be, which nobody has ever spoken about it. But in this particular, it could be 1.618034, which is further divided into two values. And we will discuss about it as we proceed. Now, this is the Ganit Vidya, the divine mathematics. In this particular picture, you can see a picture of graphic presentation of Divyank. Right on top, you can see 22 by 21 is equivalent to Brahman, the first stage of creation. Then 10 is the 10th stage of development. And 0.344 is the 11th or last stage of maturation of Lord Shiva. Brahma, Vishnu, Mahesh equivalent to this number is the ultimate number, not 1.618 or not the infinite number. This is the most precise, concise value of the golden ratio. Everything is that with this only all the misconceptions of numbers would be resolved as we go on. And then you'll see everything is perfect one by one. Now come to what is the Divyanka, what is Divyanka ratio? Let us explore and find the divine truth. Divine truth is let's make a Divyanka ratio for the first time in a very sequence way. I've made a square of 100 into 100 units. And that is the first step. Second thing, I divided that into two halves. 50 into 100, 50 into 200, two rectangles which are from a square. This is a second step as such. Then as you see, the same 50, 100, the right one, I have put a line from upper one to the down. Draw a line joining the right upper angle of the square with the middle bottom of square as shown in the picture. Now calculate the hypotenuse using Indian mathematics. I'm talking about simple arithmetic. I'm not talking about calculators or the thing. Now 50 into 50, this is the bottom line, is equal to 2500. Right land is 100 into 100 is 10,000. When 2,500 plus 10,000 put together is equal to 12,500. There is no doubt. Now square of 12,500 is equal to 111.803. This you can calculate with the hand and you can also calculate with the calculator. Let us take the numbers before it becomes 0. So 111.8034. After that is 0 and then other numbers, let's ignore it. So this is the precise point which I calculated and this could have been done. Now I put that particular picture. Then this line I made a semi-square and conducted. And having done that, it was 50 plus 111.8034 equal to 1.618034. That is the most approximate decimal value of golden ratio. I think it's very simple. Now you made into the whole a rectangle. This is rectangle. Complete the picture. It's 100 into equivalent to 161.8034. And this is a precise, concise value of the Deviant ratio, most approximate value of golden ratio. This should have been done, and I'm sure every mathematician could have calculated it earlier. But unfortunately, when you're stuck in a man-made concept, then you cannot be divine. When you are in nature with divinity, only the divine nature will help you to become perfect, and that's it. Now come to the same thing I presented in a graphic presentation, 10 to 100 into 100, 50 into this particular thing as such. And having done that calculation, you can see it confirmed here in one sit. So you have a clarity in your saying how divine mathematics should be understood to make all the physics, chemistry, biology, and sciences, including mathematics, be perfect from core to one, which is not available today. Now come to the question. Akhand Bharat is making it very clear. 161.8034 is the length and 100 is the height. That's it. And it is also could be represented at 61.8034%, equivalent to 38.196. Either upper one, this is the Deviant ratio, and it can have other things. And this is a perfect golden ratio value as such as the divine golden ratio. Now come to the divine mathematics. Now I'm going to show you 10 plus stages we are going to understand a rectangle. That is, infinity is 61.8034. Now the divine number of infinity I'm showing is 61.8034. Nothing other than that. This number has never been revealed by anybody as such, as the infinity number. What are the people talk about Ramanujan as man who knew infinity, but that is available practical precision only 100 stages or 200. Beyond that it fails. Infinity should never merge, converge, or diverge at any stage. Once that is maintained, that is infinity, that is only 61.8034. We're going to see an involution thing to show how 100 divided by this comes to only 10 stages. Beyond that, it does not. I'm going to show you that. Now come to the question of 10 plus stages of Deviant ratio. Same square of 100 into 100, you can see it. Then a semicircle of 100 is being put together to make a picture to get into spiral galaxy. Next, the drama of infinite number of 61834 is going to be shown by me that how this is infinity number is 61.80, and from 100 divided to 0, it is only 10 stages. That is the way I'm going to explain to you. Now comes the question of the square has been made. Now the second step is 100 multiplied by 61.8034 divided by 100 is equal to 61.8034. Now 100 into 100 is one part. Now 100 into this divided by 100 is this number. That's the percentage which I'm talking about. And that is a percentage. The next one, square, is 61.8034. And semicircle of that is the second stage in the formation. And I think that is something which has to be seen. Next comes the third stage. 61.80, which was the last time, multiplied again by 61.8034 divided by 100 is equivalent to 38.1966. In other words, square root of 61 is 100 times the value of this, but has to be divided 100 to show how beautiful is the concept. And this particular concept can never be seen in any ratio in the world. It is only possible with 61 at 8034 only. No other ratio shows. The only Divyang has a perfection. So come to the picture of another 38.196. Square is put, then semicircle is put. I think we have come to the three stages very, very clearly. Now we are going to the fourth stage. 38.1966 multiplied by 61.8034 divided by 100 is equal to 23.6068. That's the next number. Now everything is consistent. And draw a square, as you can see, and draw a semicircle within that, and I think that's the picture come to the fourth stage very, very clearly. And I think fifth stage, now things will be very clear. 23.6068, which was the last number, multiplied by 61.8034 divided by 100 is equal to 14.5898 only. No other number is like that. You have come to that particular stage. Now you make a square first, then semicircle. You have made the picture. Now going to spiral step by step, inside. From out inside, what you're seeing is spiral galaxy. 10 steps, 10 suns, you're going to see it here. Now come to the question of sixth step. 14.5898 multiplied by 61,000.8034 divided by 100 is 9.10170. And that is unit. You put a square and then make semicircle. You have completed the sixth step very clearly. Now come to the seventh step. 9.0170 multiplied by 61.8034 divided by 100 is equal to 5.5728. Draw a square of that. Then there is semicircle. You come to the seventh stitch very clearly. Now come to the eighth. 5.5728 multiplied by 61.8034 divided by 100 is equal to 3.4442. Draw a semicircle square of that, and then semicircle. The picture goes to the eighth step. Then and ninth step is 3.4442 multiplied by 61.8034 divided by 100 is equal to 2.2186 only. Draw a square of that number, 2.2186, and then semicircle. You can see the picture very clearly. Now the 10th step is 2.218 multiplied by 61.8034 divided by 100 is equal to 1.3156. And draw a square and put. Now you have come to the number 1. From 100 to come to 1, it has taken 10 steps of division by 61.8034. Now come to the 11th step. 1.3156 multiplied by 61.8034 divided by 100 is equal to 0.8. You have come to Shunya again, and that's what I was talking about. Once you come to Shunya, it is less than 1. That means you cannot really complete it. That means you have only 10 steps are complete. 11th step is not possible, and you have literally come to Shunya, Surya, Zero, Ankur, and that is the beginning number. 0 to 1 is what I'm talking about, Fibonacci sequence. Once that goes, I think everything is understood. This is the divine mathematics, and this should replace all the man-made concept, all the algorithms which are confusing everybody because nobody understands the meaning. We need to explain like this so that people can understand what should be the constant used. Now the same picture I've shown in this one for people to understand how from 100 into 100 in 10 stages we have come to 1, and after 11th stage it is 0. Once that is understood, you know what is inverse deviant ratio. And once you did only 10 stages, you are clear. But as far as evolution is concerned, any number multiplied by 6180 further can go on, go on, go on. It will never merge, converge, or diverge. I don't think I need to show this statement should be enough. Any number multiplied by 61.8, it can go on same thing. It will never end. And that is infinite, that is infinity, that is the number once for all. And this particular thing is not seen in any other number other than this. This is the core of divine mathematics in Divyang itself. Now let's have another exploration. The perfect Elliott-Deviyank ratio. Let's work it out. Let us experiment with another divine drama. Let's start from the Brahma, the value of 22 by 21, which I told you, the first stage of creation. In this particular picture, you can see Brahma, the first stage of creation. The outer orbit is in the ratio of 22 by 21 only. I think once that is understood, that is the first stage. And then you see the 10 pentagons, that means there are 10 stages. And then you see central part, the last one. So Brahma, Vishnu, Mahesh come to roll this particular picture that is going to see Brahmank 22, how it goes and how Brahma plays and how Shiva comes to the play role to complete it. And that is what I'm making. Brahma, Vishnu, and Shiv are the three integral part to understand first stage of creation, 10 stage development, and last stage of maturation. Once that is done, I think everything else is well, and that is exactly I have shown in other thing. I'm not going to go to detail. Let's concentrate only on divine mathematics. Like Anant is infinity, Ankur is a sprout, and the creation, Ankita. So let us just do only that. Remaining thing we are going to see as we move on. Now, in the first picture is there is 10.344. We are going to see how 10.344 is emerging, not any other number. The first is 100 into 100 square, which I have already spoken in the beginning, but that divided into 21 parts. In the second one, you can see orbit as such as the first orbit is 22 1. You can see very clearly. Then you go on to the second. Then you go on to the third, you go on to the fourth, you go on to the fifth, you go on to the sixth, you go on to the seventh, you go on to the eighth, you go on to the ninth, you go on to the 10th. Then you finish the 10 stages. After that, there's little space left, and that there is nothing complete one more step. 11th step is not possible. Up to 10th step, you have more or less come to the rectangle, the Devank rectangle. That's it. Beyond that, it's not possible. There is not enough space. Then we must find the accurate value of the 11th stage, and this particular system, it cannot work. So far, this is a man-made mathematical design, which I've done very, very well. Now you need something much more elaborate to understand how we can go to find the exact value of 0.34419. Now, this is a picture which I have already shown so that you know very well this is how the whole concept is of deviant ratio. Now we are going to find for the first time in the history of mankind how the last digits of 0.3441 are going to appear. And this picture I am showing in the Shiva picture very clearly the third stage of maturation. And this is what I had to do with calculator. And what the calculator is, IBM's SPS, I use a version 21. Now I have the value of 100, also 161.8034, the precise number of rectangle I knew very well. Now putting the number as 161.8034 and then finding out how many times 22 by 21 to the power of 10, and then last could be to come to that particular number one by one. Having done that, it was very interesting that in the help of my professor Devendraju, we sat for 2 days on the computer and calculated step by step, and the number which came out was 10.34419 only. What is interesting is 3 plus 4 plus 4 plus 1 plus 9 is equivalent to 21, and that is there. Everything starts from 21, goes to 22 stages, goes to 10 plus stages and think. And that was made me realize how divine method is so consistent anywhere and everywhere is same story. Same thing in formation of RBCs, same thing in cells, same thing there. And now you're going to see that in my remaining work. I think this much is a basic concept of divine mathematics showing that Divyak is ultimate and this particular number is infinite. And once this is understood clearly, then application we are going to see as we proceed thereafter to create a document which is purely on Divyak. Now in this particular picture, I'm going to show infinite digit of 61. You can see it very clearly. In this picture, you see the red color is equivalent to 1.618034 on line in picture. That is red line. Then green line is equal to 100. That blue line you can see in the right, red on top and blue on the part of the right side. Red is complete. Next is blue, green, third is blue, which is equivalent to 61.8034. Then there is a pink color, violet color is equivalent to 38. And this is the divine mathematics. Once this is understood, you will never make a mistake. One of the best example is DNA, which proves it to show the world the one by Watson and Crick of 20 into 34 with 10 is not right. It is 22, 21 to 21 to 34 with 10.3 cc is a perfect DNA, and that is what Devyank has given to you. That is where to show the world how many more things you're going to see in that as we show one by one as we move on. Having done that, I think we have come to the stage to realize it's a divine mathematics which I spoke about it, how it emerged step by step. Once this is understood, is going to be base for everything else. I want this to be understood by each and everybody. And I'm sure now it's very, very simple. This could have been done by anybody at any time earlier. Unfortunately, it's not done. Now, having been done, you start this, have the concept very clear because you're going to see the same thing in applied science, which nobody has explained. They use a format of 2061 or many other things, but they don't explain. But without understanding a concept, the application becomes very difficult. It is not a log of 61 in Nernst equation. Log of 61.8034 would have given better equilibrium value, and everywhere the same story. And once that is understood, I think we are clear to new research methodology to bring impeccable wisdom to the world step by step, never done in the history of mankind too. And at the same time, realize this is what ancient Indian Brahmins did it in Ved and Upanishads. And I'm replicating the same thing in the simple language, the way I did it, I'm doing it with the equipment which nobody can deny and prove it. In between, we have made a mess. We should read to rectify. The next generation of students through the world have a consistent, impeccable wisdom, and they require it. And this is what it is all for them. Anyway, coming to this picture, I'm not going to talk it. I think enough for the day. Thank you very much. It's been lovely sharing my experiences, which all experience with proper theoretical knowledge, with the evidence which nobody can deny. And you can see all that everywhere in all my work. Thank you very much.